Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to It's So Real
with your boy Osa
and your girl Rocky.
What's good, beautiful people?
It's good to be back, y'all.
Yeah. We're 2 episodes in since coming back.
Yes.
This is episode 2 since coming back.
So check out our previous episode, WAP, Women Abolishing Patriarchy.
Yes. WAP was a fire episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we just put it out, but we already get some nice responses from people on my Facebook page who commented on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't read anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but we will continue to put out content and definitely check out our Patreon.
Yeah, that's
We're
new.
live.
You know, we came back with some new changes, if you haven't noticed. So yeah, we have a Patreon now. We are going to make a specific video and put that on our Instagram and Facebook about the Patreon, so you can know a little bit more about the ins and outs of what will be available there, and kind of what's going on. But I wanted to ask you earlier, do you think we should explain the segments for a little while until people start coming back?
Let's keep doing the explaining of our segments and just so people get adjusted and used to it. So we reformatted again our podcast, and we do it in segments. The first segment of the podcast is called Two Sides of the Same Coin. Even now I'm getting used to it. I had to look over our information board. I was like, hold on, which one was it? But so this is new for me too. We're all on a journey, everyone, together. All right. We're in it together. So yes, two sides of the same coin. Where I have my little quarter. My famous zoom in, zoom out. Yeah. If y'all saw it in that last video, I did that. So I zoom in, I zoom out. We flip a coin, and whoever calls the correct side of the coin goes first and gives their take on the first topic or question. And then the other person gets to go. And we keep going through all the questions just like that. It's a good way for us to make sure that each one of us is getting our points across while making it a little bit fun and easier for y'all to digest this content on YouTube. That's one of the other reasons. Inside stories. But yes, it's a good segment, and last time it went really well, so we're gonna keep it going. Let us know what you think about these segments. Let us know what you think about our content. Leave us comments, leave us likes. Please give us some feedback, and thank you for showing support thus far, for even listening.
Yes. So today's episode, Entanglement Jada.
Entanglement? Really? Really? That's what we doing now? Okay.
All right, so why don't you call it for the quarter?
All right. This one's for Will. Heads. God damn it. Jada wins again. Tails.
Alrighty, so the question is, y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Is it cheating if you are separated?
I want to answer this one first, too.
So, cheating is based in secrecy, lying, deception, and betrayal. And usually that is happening within agreed upon boundaries. And with separation, there can be a lot of gray areas that aren't specifically discussed and addressed and agreed upon by both parties. But if we gonna go legal route, technically, depending on the state, you can cheat while separated because you are not divorced. That's my take. Legally, yes, it's still cheating if you're separated. Socially, I would feel like I would need to have that conversation so we can know the parameters of the separation. Because if I'm separated and done with your ass, then and divorce is on the way, like, nah, it's not cheating. But if we need a break to figure shit out, but we open to the possibility of coming back, we gonna need to discuss things. And I feel like on that Red Table Talk, things were not discussed.
Not at all.
So what say you, Osa? Is it cheating if you're separated?
All right, so my take on this whole thing when it comes to whether it's cheating or not when you're separated is very much about, yes, the clarification of what separated means, what that entails, what are the boundaries. Y'all have to have all that mapped out and laid out clearly in order to truly define it. But in, like what you were saying, the legal sense, and then in some people's minds, the religious or other marital ways that you view marriage in whatever lens it is most likely, and in most cases, yes, it's still cheating, because in the, I guess, traditional terms of what separation means, it is you two saying that you're no longer together at the moment, but it's not saying that you aren't going to get back together. So therefore, there's no green light explicitly stated that you can date other people or fuck other people or have, you know, entanglements.
Entanglements.
The song is a bop. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that song go.
He did his thing on that one.
You know,
he did his thing on that one.
Kind of catchy. But you can file for legal separation, and I think, again, it depends on the state, but I think
there's some nuance to
it. It's like you have to not be living together.
Yeah, I think there are certain requirements.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
I think I know, like, one of them, and again, it depends on the state, but living apart is, like, necessary for a lot of legal separations.
For legal ones, yeah, for sure.
But if you didn't file legal separation and you just took space and said you were separated, listen, I don't know.
And
it's complicated.
And from what I understand, they didn't take any legal route when it came to the separation piece, Will and Jada, did they?
I have no idea. They didn't say specifically. They did say on Red Table Talk that they were separated.
That they were separated.
So that's why
I was done like, with your ass. That's what he said.
Right?
I was done with your ass.
I was like, this question needs to be asked.
Yeah. Some clarification needs to be had.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next one now.
All right.
Shoot. What is the next question? When do adults become responsible for their choices? Man. Now, okay, I'm getting this one. You call it?
Tails.
Yes, watch. God damn. Jada wins again.
So when do adults become responsible for their choices? Well, again, legally at 18. Now, sure, brain development isn't fully functioning there, complete.
Yeah, brain development isn't like fully complete until
mid-20s.
Yep, around 25.
However, the government decided for whatever reason that you can join the army at 18, that you can basically be legally responsible for yourself. So somehow in this controversial situation, everybody's like, August was too young, even though he was in his 20s, his early 20s. And I'm like, okay, now we approaching like halfway through college, about to be on our way out. When are you going to be able to be responsible for your choices?
Hey.
Like, you're not a minor. That shit's done. Right. And as far as the emotional growth, age does not determine that. There's some people in their 80s who have not learned a single thing, have not done any emotional growth work, and still making the same mistakes. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's facts. Some of them were clients.
You know? So what say you? When do adults become responsible for their choices?
Honestly, I would say that adults become responsible for their choices at the age of 18 when it comes to their responsibility. Again, going back to the legal route.
I mean,
that's where it is. That's what we say. Now, I get where people are trying to go with like the whole manipulation thing because August was in a bad headspace.
But so was Jada.
Right. They don't perceive them as being in the same headspace because I think August had...
He had a lot of loss.
Yeah, he had a lot of loss. He had a lot of trauma. He was suicidal. So like a lot was going on for the brother at the time. And also that was like that was Jaden's friend first, you know. So I kind of get, you know, where they're coming from with that. But on the other hand, he's still responsible for himself and as an adult. So like it's just like with other human beings, when you're an adult, you can be taken advantage of while still being adult and having to take responsibility for the fact that you were taken advantage of.
No, you allowed that.
Right. Exactly. So although you can say there was manipulation in terms of timing and everything else like that, that's like with almost any other thing. If someone, this is a classic example, is that a lot of guys do. If a girl is just broke up with her boyfriend or something else like that, it's like, oh, I gotta get it right now because she's emotional. That's about timing. So is it emotionally manipulative to a certain extent? Yes, but it's also about timing and social norms.
And again, what's she doing?
Right.
She can say no.
So the whole reason why this is seen as being something very blown up is because it's Jada. If this was a normal relationship with somebody else and you didn't really know about it, you probably wouldn't care and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because it's Jada and it's on the spotlight, I think even the predatory behavior is overhyped. And I don't think so. I don't even think August likes being seen in that way. That's probably why he put out the song. He was like, no, this is how it was. I was fully aware of what was going on.
He was a man,
right?
Baby.
Like he was saying, I was handling my shit. I was doing shit Will couldn't do. He was saying a whole bunch of stuff. He was getting real spicy on the song.
Very confident.
So he clearly did not feel like any victim. Yeah. So I think even he would push back against that narrative. I think he was fully aware. And if maybe it started off as like maybe a manipulation thing, it grew to be either something. And that's kind of what Jada was expressing. It grew to be something where they both grew from that emotionally and had an actual decent connection.
And they both consented to it.
Right. So you can't really put that on them. I understand everybody's perspective on that, but to be hypercritical of Jada without really picking out what's going on within the relationship, and again looking and asking the man himself who was in it, it's a little bit, it's a little bit off.
And again, when would adults become responsible for their own choices? Like, what age would work for you?
So again, yeah, if he was in his 30s, would you be saying the same thing? Is it just the age? Because then I don't understand that either. That goes back to like the manipulation thing. It doesn't really matter. If you're a 30-year-old who broke up with their boyfriend and another 30-year-old tries to shoot their shot at you because they know that you're emotionally available, is that less of a manipulation than if you're in your 20s and you do the same thing? I don't understand. What
about 60s and 40s?
Right.
Again, emotional maturity is not dependent on age.
Right.
As many of us millennials found out when we reached adulthood and said, what the fuck y'all acting like high schoolers?
So, yeah, for that one, I think this is like a rush to judgment because it's an easy target and it's easy to feel bad for August because he was going through all those things. But I think, if anything, August is trying to own his story and say, like, no, I was in a lot more control of this than anyone.
I'm just saying. I saw the picture.
Oh my God.
Very well endowed. He knew what he was doing.
Right. So.
And Jada fine.
It is fine. And her mom fine.
Her mama fine too.
How the hell your mama
that's some good genes.
Yo, her mom look younger than her some days.
She be working out though.
I'll work her out. What? This is a family show. What? I told y'all last time.
No, it ain't.
Well, maybe for the modern family.
Listen. Whew. Any last
the revolutionary families.
Right? The sex positive families.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Like, you're responsible, you're an adult, and you can be responsible for being taken advantage of either emotionally or mentally, but you still have to take responsibility for that at the end of the day. We can't be putting some victim label on August because y'all feel bad. He didn't claim to be a victim. Why are you trying to make him one?
And it's like you have to hold yourself accountable. If your lack of boundaries allow for that to happen, then own that shit. Learn from it.
Yeah, right.
You know? Like, don't just be like, oh my God, I was taken advantage of. I didn't know what I was doing, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, I was going through this period in time where I was not aware of certain things, where I chose for these things, or I didn't feel the worth in myself to get what I deserved. Like, own your shit, man.
All that.
People annoyed me with that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, because you felt bad for August and you have like maybe some emotional connection to his music or whatever else it might be. Maybe you just think he fine and you want to defend him.
I think it's the mental health piece.
Yeah, but he did not claim to be a victim and again, you don't know shit about the relationship they had.
You were not there.
So he didn't claim to be the victim, and Jada didn't claim to take advantage of. Mm-hmm. She just said that the things that they did felt good. Maybe it was just a really great connection. That's what she needed, and exposed her to things that she never knew she needed or wanted. Or maybe it's like, why do I want these things, or why do I feel like I'm not asking for it? There's a whole bunch of things that could have gone on. We don't know.
I think what is possible is they were mutually helping each other in different ways, and then while that was happening, they formed a connection. Like, they both attractive people, so listen.
I understand that.
I mean,
shit. Jada.
Yeah. All right.
Jada.
You want to call the next one?
On it. Almost lost a quarter. Okay. This one I gotta get, please. Thoughts on Bad Marriage for Life. Bad Marriage for Life. Oh. I was about to go off just now. Heads.
Oh, should I give it to him, y'all? I should give it to him. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, come on. Thank you. These motherfuckers. I ain't gonna go in that hard. But Bad Marriage for Life, come on, y'all. That was that. First of all, shit, let me sit up for this motherfucker here. First of all, when that shit first came on, I literally was like cringing.
Oh,
I said,
no. Oh, no.
Oh, hell no. Oh, I was like, this can't be happening. Like, you really just said that?
You just used this platform to put that message out there?
And it was so goddamn corny.
Yeah.
It was weak. It was whack. It was the worst. I couldn't believe that because Will holds a special place in my heart because of like just childhood memories, Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, and then for him to use the Bad Boys quote, talking about some bad marriage for life. We ride together, we die together. Bad marriage for life. Ugh. Anyways, so that's just my personal first reaction. I just had to get that off because it tore me up. I was like, ugh, that's just terrible. But outside of that, the concept of the whole bad marriage for life thing comes from their perspective, Will and Jada's, that they have to suffer and go through such bullshit, to be honest, and put each other through so much shit in order to come out on the other end of it. And then that's the way that they will sustain their marriage, is through the lessons of the almost damn near torture of each other. And it's like, that's not the way a marriage or a relationship, for me at least, is going to be working. No. And it's not what I promote to my clients. And this goes for anything. It goes from when you're in the talking phase, the dating phase, the interrelationship phase, the marriage phase, all them phases. You know what I'm saying? You should never be in a place where you think, oh, because we're in a rut or we're going through bad things, that this is supposed to happen in order for us to get out. Especially if you're doing it to each other. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? If you're going through something together because something happened and it was outside your control, a pandemic. Hey, you can't do shit about that. Y'all ain't do that to each other. But if you're cheating on each other back and forth, getting back at each other, I'm gonna get back at you. It's
the fact that
come on now. Like, that is a totally different story.
That's ego.
That's hella ego right there.
And pride.
All that. So that's different, and I think that's where the distinction has to be made when it comes to having a marriage that's just built on that versus having a marriage where you go through things together and grow, and you're helping each other instead of you're tearing each other down, and you feel like, all right, we made it out of our tearing each other down piece. So we're not tearing each other down no more. So your benchmark for what a good marriage tends to be is when y'all are not fighting. So basically a neutral environment. While the ones who are over here who are helping each other build, when they get into some shit, they're pouring into each other. When they get into some shit, their benchmark for a good relationship is them going back to them helping each other grow. So y'all are like neutral and then tearing each other down and then getting back to neutral every time. This couple over here, leveling up every time. And I know it's weird to say that in the context of the most couples goal leveled up couple that looks like that, but clearly through this experience we've seen that there were ways where they were not emotionally and maybe on a more just actual level where they cared about each other and were able to relate to each other in a healthy way. They weren't able to do that, and they have admitted that through a lot of their relationships, including with the way that they raise their children as well. So it's like, as much as they leveled up and bossed up in the movie industry and in entertainment and all that other stuff, it's like some of the other things might have been pushed to the wayside, and then they're just now working these things out, which is the results, some entanglements. But yeah, the motto of Bad Marriage for Life, I think that's going to be another thing they're going to have to evolve out of, hopefully. Because if you just settle on that, like I said, I think that's just you hitting that neutral bar every time. Like, oh, this is the end of the marriage growth, the relationship growth. It's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. Y'all supposed to help each other grow. And then if some hiccup happens, evolve past that. Not tear each other down and just be like, well, you know, that's how we do it. Ugh. But that's my thoughts. My queen. Digging her up. Words of affirmation. Love language. Know your shit, fellas.
Why? Like, there's a lot of truth in a joke. And why would you use this platform that you know people gonna be looking at to put that message out there? Because people are gonna take that shit literally and be like, oh yeah, see, struggle love. Struggle that's love. What it's about. Yep, we gotta do this. Yep, that's how we have it. That's how term. We for life.
That's the term right there, struggle love.
And I'm like, like, okay, I also understand the corniness of Bad Boys for Life, but no. No. Yeah. It's an entirely different concept. And I'm just like, there is conflict resolution, there's effective communication, there's healthy emotional expression and emotional regulation. There's working on your individual growth and your relationship growth. Where you can be with somebody for life and it doesn't have to be a bad marriage. And the fact that they, even though it's jokingly, are proud of that, shows me they have some work to do.
Yeah, I think so. But even they've admitted that, but I don't know if they understand how much.
I don't know if they understand they shouldn't have said that. Again, people take shit literally. Like, you couples goals. Know your responsibility. I'm just saying.
That's true.
So, I wish that... Like, okay, so when I was watching that Red Table Talk, I was understanding the lessons that they've learned about themselves and about their relationship. And I don't know if they were pointing it out clearly enough for other people to gain. Because, I mean, of course, people are all in this because it's different relationship dynamics than the norm.
Yeah.
Right? Than the default standard setting. So, taking that opportunity to be like, these are the lessons we learned about how we grew within ourselves and how we grew within our relationship, within our partnership, and communicating that to the world. But they didn't. So like me as a therapist, I'm pulling that information out. I'm like analyzing the shit like, oh, I see what happened here. Oh, I see what they did here. Everybody ain't therapists. Everybody is not observing patterns and connections and yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and again, it's not to shit on them. They doing a lot more work than a lot of people.
Exactly.
But because they were on that large platform and all those eyes were on them, it's like, yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way that got so much attention and might be accepted now as like...
Oh, people, it was trending and shit.
Yeah. I know a lot of people's getting their jokes off though. Them jokes, yo.
Black Twitter man.
Be on that shit. Y'all be roasting up. Yo, I hope I don't never get on that shit. Whew, if y'all roast me, I'm gonna roll with the punches and I'm gonna probably laugh alongside, to be honest.
I know.
Yo, cause I shit, you know, I like to go back and forth.
I know you do.
Whew, that shit be funny. I joke on my damn self. Well, depending on what it is. We'll see. Hopefully it don't happen. But if it do, hey,
love and light, people, love and light.
You know. But yeah, that's a lot of people might actually take it serious. So we just had to address it.
Because again, that concept of struggle love isn't new.
No.
Like that's something we've grown up with, especially in Black America.
Yeah.
Like that's
very
been,
accepted.
You know, how is it being Caribbean American, being Guyanese? How is it? I guess the concept of struggle love, like, is it different?
I don't actually know for real because I know there's a level of that because the structure previously, not right now, like just like the rest of the world, there were a lot more women gaining more power and influence. But prior to that, it was kind of like, you know, just like I was in America, it was like the man was the breadwinner, so he was the person who would take control of
make the decisions
and all that other stuff. So that kind of left the woman, you know, in a place where if she wanted to be autonomous and really create her own destiny outside of a man, it was almost impossible because the opportunities weren't there.
Gotcha.
You know. But yeah, even I think the whole world, honestly, like, well, not the whole world, but a lot of places, women are just getting more freedom, which allows for a lot of mediocre guys to feel insecure.
Get your shit together.
I'm sorry, because y'all it's just like when Black people finally got into any field. It's like, oh, we thought we were good until
y'all mediocre.
So yeah,
no greatness.
But yeah, I can't really speak too much on Guyana other than that.
Okay, well, that's just interesting.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't even think about it.
All right, well, I think we're done with our first segment, so we're gonna take a little break.
We'll be right back with either or, both and nigga.
All right, welcome back. You didn't go anywhere.
Right? Editing. I don't know what the hell I be doing.
You be having fun, baby. You be having
Yeah, you know, trying to. You got to live your life as best you can, you know, while you can. Because, hey, you never know these days.
Yeah, especially in 2020.
2020 has been one hell of a year, so let's live it up as much as we can. People we love.
Oh, thanks, baby.
All right, so what's next on the podcast?
The next segment... So this next segment is called Either Or, Both And. So with this segment, we wanted to ask questions in a black or white way to make us choose one or the other. But then with the both and piece, be able to actually explain the nuances, the gray areas of those questions.
Right.
Because many people think in black or white, but the world does not exist in black or white.
No, it does not. That's one of the things I think we pride ourselves on trying to put out there is the idea of that gray area. And that's where the work is at. That's where growth is, you know. when you in that polarized black or white, usually you not growing. You stuck on stool.
Yeah, nah. It's actually a cognitive distortion. I suffered / still suffer and slowly moving out of. Okay, you don't gotta sip so loud. Growth, okay? It's been progressing.
Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about that? I had no idea. I didn't even notice.
Growth. Cause yeah, I would get stuck, and it's usually in the negative, and I would just spiral down that route. You know.
You be spiraling, baby, but you're much better.
Thank you. Just drink your water.
Oh, I'm drink it.
All right, so the first question for either or both and. That's why you about this.
No, I'm not. Now, well, my someone's equipment down here. I held that spit take in. I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. About to ruin all my shit.
Oh goodness.
The mics, the computer, everything. God damn.
Yeah, we got a lot of tech around here. Alrighty, so yes. So the first question for either or both and. So this again, remember we have to choose one or the other,
right.
And then after we both make our choice, we're gonna explain the both and. Okay.
Yes.
Question is on the Red Table Talk between Will and Jada discussing Jada's entanglement. Was that a genuine conversation or was that acting?
All right, I'm going with genuine conversation.
All right. I'm going with acting.
Okay. Oh, I know I'm supposed to go first, but I want to know why you said acting, so fuck it. I'm passing it to you. Why you say acting?
So,
ooh, this is good.
I think that Jada has this persona on the Red Table Talk.
Okay. All right, keep going.
All right. So, a character.
Right.
And I felt that show up on that specific Red Table Talk.
Like around, do you know, like, what was it exactly?
It was just
like
her demeanor.
Okay.
Like how, it didn't seem like, now this may have been true to their life, but it didn't seem like they were having a conversation that would be had behind closed doors. This seemed like a conversation for the cameras. So even though it was about their life, it still felt rehearsed. It still felt like there was more to the story that the audience was not getting. And they were only giving us a certain bit of that story. And yeah, so it didn't, to me it was just like, let's put on a show because the people want to hear what's going on. And the show happens to be about our life. It was a reality show. That's not how people act in reality. It's still a show.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
All right.
What say you?
I say it's real because I think the emotions and the thoughts expressed were genuine from their understanding of them. So you know how, like, if you're a little kid and you were told all your life that Santa Claus is real, right? You believe that Santa Claus is real. So when you tell another kid that Santa Claus is real, you're not lying to them because you yourself feel as though that it's real. So just like that, like, it's the same thing with larger emotions or larger concepts and thoughts. So if you think that you're in the right about something and you're in the complete wrong, but you genuinely believe it.
What my mama say? Loud and wrong.
You can be loud and wrong, but if you genuinely believe it, you're like, what's wrong with all of y'all? Y'all tripping. My mama said.
I say my mama said a lot. Thank you, mama.
So, like, if you got taught about the wrong thing by your mama, then you might be screwed up and loud and wrong like one of these people. So I think in the conversation that Will and Jada were having, I think those emotions that came out were genuine. Like the Will's joke, that was him genuinely being like, I'm gonna get you back.
I mean, yeah, and he used humor to hide his feelings.
But that's what Will does.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So for their understanding, I think it was genuine.
It was genuine for them.
Yes. But that's what all it is. It's just like the kid with the
I guess.
Santa Claus. It's
I
like,
hear you.
Yo, I thought, you heard about Santa? And you like, what the fuck? Goddamn Santa? Nah, son, Santa's all that. He
Listen,
be getting you listed.
I was defensive of the people who believed. I'm like, let them believe.
Right.
Shit.
Right.
This magic be gone after Santa gone.
that bubbly feeling you get when you
Yes.
You can get that from anything that you put emphasis on, so you don't gotta put it on Santa. No old jolly ass white dude. I know that your Santa was black. I know.
Never white in my house.
Know, but he's still based off that old concept. So all that. Anyways, there's actually an episode about that. We did some episode when you went off about Santa.
I don't know. Look around Christmas time.
We got so many damn episodes.
We got a catalog, y'all.
We got a catalog, but that's what. So if you hear and you like, yo, they kind of, we like the way they talk about certain things. Hey, ain't no shame in browsing the catalog.
and if you are on any of our other platforms outside of SoundCloud, I will say that we organize our SoundCloud show within specific playlists.
Yeah.
So we have Love, Sex, Connections. We have Grown Up Black for the Culture. Today in America. Growth, Mind, Body, and Spirit. So we categorize our episodes to those different playlists. Yeah. So that way, if you're looking for anything about relationships, that's
a whole category right there.
Exactly. If you're looking for self-care or anything about therapy, you got that. Just any current events, usually, and politics. Yeah. So Today in America.
For all that.
So definitely check it out on SoundCloud to get those categories.
Right.
Yeah. But all right.
I loved that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh. Because I didn't think he was going to pick that actor. You threw me off on that one.
I mean, it didn't feel authentic to me.
I feel you. I could definitely.
I felt like there was a whole lot of shit going on behind them cameras.
Because there's definitely some level of. I think we discussed some of this in the deep dive. For all those who don't know, we do a deep dive of these episodes where we like really get into some of these concepts.
And that is off the audio podcast.
Yes, that's on the Patreon
only exclusive with certain tiers in the Patreon.
Right.
Yes.
So if you are interested, because we really get into these conversations and break it down way further.
Talking.
You already know that. No, we know. But yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely look at our Patreon. There'll be a link of all that stuff, and on our link tree, and you can just subscribe and sign up.
Yes,
it's perfect. Trust me, you'll enjoy the things we talked about. But as a sneak preview, we did get into like how they might have talked about. Talked about like what the general conversation might be, but not get into the exact things that they were gonna say. So it's kind of like you're putting the actor in a scene. You know, you're not saying exactly what their lines are, but you're painting the environment. Like, okay, you're a cab driver, and it's a chase, and you're like, all right. So you ain't giving no dialogue. They could have been like, I don't care about your chase. You could have said that. But that would have been a really boring scene, you know? So I think there's a little bit of both of what we're talking about.
And both.
You know what I'm saying?
So, sorry. Both and.
Yeah, both and. And you messed me up too.
My bad. I say and both and
what? Like
reality.
Yeah. But we like the way it's got a certain twang to it.
Both and.
There it is. But yeah, I think, well, for more, y'all just gotta go.
Yes.
Because I was about to go off all over it. We'll talk about
that's why I said I had to do it before the show. Because I be wanting to know it.
all these thoughts.
Yes.
Thoughts. But yeah, let's go on to the next one.
Alright, so the next either or. So was this monogamy or non-monogamy? I want you to choose first.
Oh, yes. I got this one. Non-monogamy. Easily.
I'm going to say non-monogamy too.
Okay. Alright. The reason why I say this whole thing was non-monogamy is because I think, for one, Will and Jada have an agreement, I think, that previously might have allowed for them to have more than one partner within the context of their committed relationship. In my eyes, that's a non-monogamous agreement. You know? How they structured it exactly, I'm not sure. I really don't know. When it comes to this was also non-monogamous. Although I don't think it was ethical. I don't think there was
boundaries
at all. I don't think there was effective communication. And those are the things that make healthy non-monogamous relationships work. Just like any other relationship. But I think because the relationship structure is different from that of a monogamous structure, it's gotten so many headlines, it's gotten so much attention. But yeah, all the normal miscommunication and non-clarification that goes on in a monogamous relationship happened here, and y'all just happen to be more intrigued because it's a different relationship dynamic. But yeah, I think non-monogamy pretty easy for this one.
Okay.
What say you?
So even though Will and Jada have never confirmed to the public that they are in fact in an open marriage, there's just been rumors galore, and this didn't help.
Yo, for real. If you trying to make a case,
right?
This is the glove,
right?
It's like
if the glove don't fit, so
entanglement.
I mean. So the reason I say non-monogamy, and again,
not looking good for the monogamy.
Exactly, not necessarily ethical non-monogamy. Again, because of what you were saying.
Right.
But non-monogamy, and pause. The reason that ethical is used in ethical non-monogamy or consensual non-monogamy is because people are non-monogamous all the time, but usually that's cheating, you know?
Right.
Like, that's communicative non-monogamy. So, and people already shame non-monogamy because it's different than monogamy, which is the default standard setting. So that's why ethical is used for y'all shaming folk to understand that no, there are actually some guidelines, some morals, boundaries, some boundaries within this. But there is unethical monogamy is my point, okay?
Yes.
Goodness.
A lot of it.
Exactly, but that's a whole nother episode. Anyways. So, just in the fact that it is non-monogamy is because, I mean, technically, monogamy means you're with one person. For life.
Yeah. Let it sink in.
And they were not. They were not each other's first.
My last. My own.
Wasn't Jada's last either. So, and as far as marriage and being committed to one person for life, well, then you have to factor in the separation. And it's like, yeah, technically they were still married. So this would be non-monogamy. If you're going to say that monogamy is marriage to one person for life versus you are with one person for the entirety of your life, because people really want to get all in the details
of it.
When I be like, listen, this it's another episode. Don't get me started. I feel it coming. All right, so yeah, to that point, at least Jada was non-monogamous.
Right.
In
for
her
sure,
marriage.
we know that. Yes,
Exactly.
We know for sure. We don't know about even though we do. That he wasn't.
Yeah.
Even though we do. Okay.
Yeah, people pulled out pictures.
Word.
I'm just saying. But yes. So.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah, non-monogamous, y'all. I think it's pretty safe to say.
You know, but they don't want to own that, and that's up to them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people don't I don't think they would like the label because they would get
yeah, it's a lot of heat.
You know?
People are just now being exposed to ethical non-monogamy.
Right.
So.
Come on over.
And that's what my point was, and the tangent that I was going to go on, is that a lot of humans are non-monogamous. We do not mate for life. We do not mate with one person,
no.
Okay? There's very rare people who are virgins at marriage, and then if they were to ever get divorced, don't have another partner.
Right.
Okay, so say you get divorced, or God forbid your partner dies, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life? I mean, you can be, but a lot of people aren't. So then, no. Okay, sure. Let's do monogamy as one person at a time.
Okay. Let's take it as that.
Okay. And I think more people are doing that. It's one person at a time. Then it's like, okay, so this is only considering romantic relationships then. Because you don't have one friend at a time. You barely have one child at a time.
Yeah, it's only for romantic.
Only for romantic relationships, one person at a time. And you can still be attracted to multiple people, no matter if you are committed to one.
You definitely gotta accept that. I think people have accepted that a little bit more, but there are some
people still stuck.
Yes, there's some people who are like, you can't look at her, or you can't look at him, or you can't go out with them, or you
gotta own your attraction. If you're committed and within that commitment is monogamy, then yes, I'm attracted to that person, but I'm going home with you.
You just gotta be able to rock with that, or you could accept that. Maybe it could happen and then set some boundaries and some communication. Or
maybe it could happen and there's nothing you can do about it. If that person wants to go out, they gonna go out. Ain't shit you can do.
Right. I was talking about go out and then if they see somebody that they find attractive, if they want to do something and then it happens.
That's lack of self-control.
That's lack of self-control on their part. But then on your part, it's like, well, you signed up for a monogamous relationship with somebody who might not be monogamous.
And that's the thing. A lot of people aren't. Yeah, a lot of people aren't, but they haven't been given the option.
That's the thing. I think there's just so many people that have never even thought about questioning the idea of just being with one person at a time or for life. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's not that they haven't thought about it ever. It's just that they haven't thought about it deeply. Mm-hmm. Because there's almost like a trigger of like, all right, as soon as you start thinking about it, it's like, yo, shut that shit down. Because that's not like healthy or not whatever. Just a taboo attached to it. So it stops you from thinking deeply about it. And once you do that with most things, when you look in the gray area of most things, you find like that you can take parts of it that you want and that you actually like. Mm-hmm. So that's how you develop a structure of your own instead of just saying, well, I'm this. When you just plant your flag on that one side, it automatically stops you from experiencing or even being exposed to other things. And that limits your growth. It just does. Yes. So again, you can even be monogamous and then have those thoughts, explore all those things, and then come out and be like, nah, I still like what I do. But then you'll know. Some of y'all have these thoughts and you running like a motherfucker from them. I know. I'm looking at you, dog. Sorry. You really do want to question these dynamics, but you don't have the courage to tell your partner that, or you think that they might not be on the same wave with you when it comes to that, and that could end your monogamous thing that you kind of like, but aren't really feeling as much, and you know it's not the best dynamic for you. And I understand and can sympathize with that position, but at some point you're going to want to and have to live your truth. Or you're going to have to accept that you never will. One of those is going to happen. The gray in between that is you slipping in between those two lives, which again, I don't know if you're going to be too happy, your partner's going to be too happy about that. I'm
living my truth. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, I don't got time for that. You know?
Like,
so we good.
I accept you, you accept me, we good. Because, nah.
You don't got time for no entanglements.
Really don't. But what you were saying was reminding me, I think it was on the polyamory episode that they did on the Red Table Talk, where Jada herself was like, I'm sexually monogamous, but emotionally, she was talking about having a connection with Will's ex. the mother of Will's oldest, and saying that emotionally there was a connection there. So, and that goes into the like idea about the abundance of love, about the ability to love more than one person at the same time. So even if Jada was sexually monogamous, she wasn't having sex with August the same time as she was having sex with Will. And then again, we talking a week off, a month, what we talking? But anyways,
we know that
during the week, on the weekend, what we talking about?
We know he was doing shit he liked. We know that according to August.
That song.
That's August take. That ain't me talking. That's August.
That song said a lot. Yeah.
That's not me.
But yeah. So even in the concept of emotional non-monogamy or romantic non-monogamy, it gets really gray, y'all. You cannot black or white it.
Yeah. You can try, but like I said, it's just gonna cause some conflicts. That's all I'll say. So I think it's better to be honest, open, and yes, vulnerable. I know it's hard.
I know.
But
sit in that discomfort.
Yeah, I think living the life that you truly want and forming the relationships and the dynamics that you want is crucial to having a life full of fulfillment and joy. I'm not saying my life is perfect, but I really do feel that joy because I'm not burdened with that. So that's just my advice, my 2 cents from a happy guy.
So much freedom.
That's just me. All right, y'all. That's about the show. Because we was about to go deeper, but y'all got to pay for that one. Sorry. Deep thought. So with that being said, please check out our Patreon.
Yes. It is the first link on our link tree.
Right there.
Yes.
Check that out. Lots of great content for y'all. Yeah, just check it out. You'll be glad you did. I promise. Anything else? Any announcements? Anything that we want to do before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think that's a wrap for today.
It's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate y'all. Peace!
And love.
Always.